Mr. Madhav, who joins us. He's, of course, in charge of the BJP's J&K campaign and has, of course, orchestrated that wonderful success for the BJP in Jammu, though he couldn't replicate it, some would say, in Kashmir. Thank you, Mr. Madhav, for joining me on CNN News 18. I want to begin by asking you, how do you view the dichotomy in the Jammu and Kashmir result? So you have basically been able to deliver much beyond perhaps your previous record in Jammu, but haven't opened your account in Kashmir, getting a total of about 1.8 or 2 lakh votes. Why is this?
It is unfortunate, but it is real. There is a dichotomy in this. We secured lots of votes, lots of seats. In fact, all the seats in about 6-7 districts of Jammu, which constitutes the main Jammu area. But we couldn't do well in Pir Panchal region, which is Poonch Rajouri region. We could not secure seats in Kashmir Valley, although we did not expect to win any big number of seats in the valley. That was not any realistic assessment for us even before. But that we could not win, I mean, out of 9 seats, we could only win 1 seat in the entire Poonch Rajouri region. Is certainly something we have to seriously think about, whether we would like to remain keep ourselves as a party of 7-8 districts of Jammu, or we will become a really pan-Jammu party initially and subsequently a pan-Jammu Kashmir party. Of course, going forward, that will be the main mission and challenge for the BJP.
Your opponent, Mr. Abdullah, who was speaking to us earlier in the morning, was saying that BJP winning nothing in Kashmir is a sure sign of the valley's rejection of the big move, the big transformative move of abrogating Article 370, the whole process that followed afterwards of political detentions, etc., arbitrary arrests, all of that. And this is, for the first time, the people sending you a loud and clear message that this is not acceptable and that the 5 years of LG rule for Kashmir has been a disaster. How do you respond to that?
Before giving some data about his claims, let me tell Mr. Omar Abdullah that it is also a very clear rejection of his politics of Article 370 in Jammu. He could not get a single seat in all the Jammu districts. He could only get his seats in Poonch Rajouri and Doda Kishtwad. He should introspect whether he wants to be the chief minister of only the valley people or Pir Panchal people, or he wants to be the chief minister of the entire state. If he wants to be the chief minister of the entire state, he should also understand the sentiments, the aspirations of people of Jammu. They have totally rejected him and his piggybacking ally Congress party. Now, coming to his claims that the whole valley is behind him, let him remember that he only got 23% popular vote in the state, whereas we secured 26% popular vote. Remember, both of us contested in the same number of seats. They contested in about 60 plus seats, we contested in about 60 plus seats. Our seat share was, BJP's vote share was 3 percentage points more than his vote share. So he should not make those tall claims that the entire valley rejected the abrogation of Article 370. Look at his own somersaults yesterday. Yesterday, on the day of the winning of election, he made such a somersault and said, no, 370 is not at all an important issue for us. What does it indicate? He actually took people for a ride. He used it to mobilize votes. So let him not take that grandstanding position. He won the election. We congratulate him. We compliment him for the victory. But he should not try to philosophize the election mandate. It is simply a mandate that he secured. Part of it due to division of votes in valley. Valley votes, I have data to support it, at least 10 to 12 seats. Clear division of anti-NC votes has led to NC's victory. Fair enough, it happens everywhere. Secondly, it's on certain local issues that helped him. He take credit for that victory. As I said, we congratulate him. We wish him well in running the government. But not philosophize saying that it's a rejection of center, rejection of 370. No, not at all.
No, but obviously it was a very big issue. I mean, this was a national issue of great importance. Would you not like to have had an endorsement from Kashmir? The same could be said in reverse, that the BJP can't only think of itself, as you just said, as a party of a few districts in Jammu and be blind to the aspirations of the people of Kashmir. So that's why I'm asking you, doesn't this concern you that, yes, there were a number of seats where you've ended up on the podium, second or third, no doubt. And there has been, of course, well, at one point you couldn't fly a BJP flag. ISIS flags used to fly, but BJP flag or even the national tricolour would always be sort of marginalized. But today that has changed. But surely you would have liked to cap that with a victory or two or maybe some more.
Oh, definitely. Rahul, I clearly said in my first response itself that that will be one of our priorities. May I remind you, Rahul, one thing, that Congress party has been in electoral politics in Kashmir Valley for last 60 years. They entered in 1950s. Today, they could not get more than 4 or 5 seats, that too piggy riding over NC. So, we won't take that long. I can tell you the kind of response that we saw this time during the campaigning. I myself went to some constituencies. I campaigned in one seat, namely Gurej. We lost the election by a very narrow margin of 1,000 votes. Our candidate lost it by just 1,000 votes. There is huge positivity towards listening to us, trying to understand what we are saying, what is our viewpoint. Maybe that has not yet translated into giving us votes, but I am very confident that going forward, if we take it as one of our priorities, I mean, that's why I said our party has to seriously think about it, how to now bring other sections of Jammu Kashmir society under the influence. If that is the priority, we will very soon be able to win the hearts of the people of the valley also, and maybe in a position to win seats.
Some say that the state has voted along communal lines. There's a Muslim veto exercised in Kashmir against the BJP. There's a Hindu veto exercised against the Congress JKNC alliance in Jammu. Some say that the BJP needs to offer a lot more than to Muslims than just the hope really of development, etc., that you need to go beyond that to basically make them feel more comfortable about the BJP not being an exclusively Hindu party. How do you respond to those people?
BJP is the party of 140 crore Indians, and that includes Hindus, of course. They are the majority in this country, and of course Muslims, Christians, every community in this country. We would like to represent the aspirations and needs and desires of all the 1.4 billion Indians, and that applies to Jammu Kashmir also. Even when we do a few good things, many good things to people of Jammu and Kashmir, like we extended reservations to the ST sections like Gujars and Pahadis and Bakarwals in Kashmir. We did it not looking at the electoral mathematics behind it. It's our genuine concern that while tribals enjoy reservations in rest of the country, why not the same facility be extended to tribals in Jammu and Kashmir? We extended it. We did not get votes in those regions, but we don't mind. We did get votes. We couldn't get seats in those regions. But winning seats is a continuous effort. We'll keep more effort. But we will continue to do good for all sections of the people of Jammu and Kashmir. There is a government now which is from our opposition. I mean, it's an Indie Alliance party government. Yet there won't be, I'm sure there won't be any discrimination or ill treatment with the government. Together, state government and government of Prime Minister Modi will do whatever is to be done to people of all sections of the society. That need not be for electoral benefits alone. That's for the good of the people. That's why government should be there.
We noticed, at least anecdotally, we were told that in the 2024 Lok Sabha elections, the RSS and the BJP weren't working like the well-oiled machine they can be. How much of the success that you have seen in Jammu is attributable to the coming back together of the RSS and the BJP, the schism that people talk about, the repair of that schism?
Look, I am from the RSS. I know what RSS thinks and does at the time of elections. Take it from me, it's never about just getting some votes for BJP alone. Of course, BJP and RSS share the same thought process. RSS cadres would love to work for the BJP, but when they work at the time of elections, they try to educate people about the larger challenges that the given state, society faces. If it is a state like Jammu and Kashmir, what are the challenges that people should always keep in mind when trying to elect a government? So that role RSS always plays. It played that role in Jammu and Kashmir. I am sure RSS cadres would have played a similar role. Basically about the welfare and well-being of the people of Haryana. A similar role RSS cadre would have played in Haryana also. It helps BJP because there is a kind of a confluence in our thought process. But otherwise, RSS is a very non-political, socially, nationally focused organization.
Let me ask you, in an interview, you've called the Jamaat-e-Islami, or at least independents from the Jamaat, joining the poll process as a big achievement. But the people, by and large, rejected that. And why would you have categorized the entry of people with dubious separatist/terror past as an achievement, Mr. Ram Madhav?
Because Indian democracy has space for anybody and everybody to come in. If a particular group wants to join India's electoral politics, neither me nor you have any right to say that they are bad people, they can't come in. Indian democracy is an open democracy. Anybody can come in and participate in the elections. But why I said it was historic, it was not historic, I didn't use that word, it was a very significant thing, was because these were the very same parties or groups which used to routinely boycott elections in Jammu and Kashmir. They wouldn't participate in the election process, but also they threaten people, they intimidate, they ensure that polling percentages would go abysmally low. Those very same groups today find that no best way to pursue whatever politics we are pursuing also is through electoral politics. They did not boycott polls today. They supported the electoral process. In fact, Jamaat issued a statement a few months ago praising Indian democracy, its transparency, its openness, and saying that this is the right way to go about even for us. And in this election, about 10 or 11 of their people have contested in the elections. Democracy and elections are a great leveler. It's a good thing that those who are professing anti-national or anti-India themes and ideas are today ready to show their allegiance to Indian Constitution, because the moment you file a nomination, the first thing you have to take is to take a oath in the name of Indian Constitution. Every candidate has to do it. So a so-called separatist is forced to do that, which I thought is a very significant achievement of Prime Minister Modi. And it shows to the world that like rest of the country, Jammu Kashmir is also a very true democratic setup.
Let me ask you, do you believe that these people who call themselves the real stakeholders in Kashmir and the real representatives of the people and their aspirations, that their bluff has been called because the people seem to have rejected them in a free and fair, open, transparent election?
People chose NC. Majority of them in Kashmir Valley chose NC over these parties. There is no doubt about it. But Kashmir Valley's voting needs to be deciphered much more carefully, Rahul, I am saying. Because I have seen, at least in the North Kashmir, the voting was so fragmented that the minority vote also has benefited NC. It secured minority vote, yet it benefited because of greater division of votes. So while the ultimate result went in favor of NC in a very big way. Like, they practically swept they contested in 39 seats and they won 35 seats. It's a stupendous victory. But that doesn't really mean that the entire Valley population has voted just only for one party and rejected all others. Others also secured votes, but not enough to probably defeat the NC candidate.
Okay, but did they lose? Okay, fine. You're saying that we need to be a little more careful and we have to look at the numbers, etc.
What I'm saying is, I'm saying, Rahul, is don't reject any party. Okay. I mean, they all have their own existence there, whether it is PDP or PC of Sajad Loan or Altaf Bukhari's party or even engineers group.
Well, some people say
their own support base.
Some people say, Mr. Ram Madhav, that they lost because there was this perception. Now, whether it was built by the JKNC and the Congress, that they were the B team of the BJP injected into this particular election for the cynical purpose of undermining the ability of the JKNC and the Congress to corral support.
I didn't get your point. You mean to say that they were branded as pro-BJP
yes, that they were BJP proxies or Trojan horses or so and so forth.
The BJP proxies you meant?
Yeah.
You see, this is all part of the elections. Why NC aligned with Congress was to make sure that nobody would say that there was secret plan between NC and BJP to come together after the polls. That's why reluctantly they aligned with Congress. That's what they themselves said on TV. So this is all part of elections. You will be branded, you will be called names. You should have the ability to respond. Take the case of PDP. Some PDP leaders even today say that, they are paying the price for their alliance with BJP from 6 years ago. We parted ways 6 years ago, Rahul. If in 6 years they could not convince their voters, their cadres, that they stand for a different ideology, different politics, then it is their failure. They can't keep on cribbing that, we were branded as the BJP's B team, etc., etc. So parties have to be clear how to navigate, how to secure support. As far as we are concerned, we have not supported any party in the valley. We stood in 19 constituencies, our own candidates were there in 19 constituencies. That was to the extent that we could go because based on our strength in the valley. The rest is, their own politics.
Ram Madhav, last couple of questions. The situation now is that there will be an overarching LG rule. There will be an overarching LG rule. And Mr. Ram Madhav, can you hear me? There will be an overarching LG rule, and that the state government, the chief minister there, is not going to be, okay, I think we just lost his line there. We're just going to reconnect. But we were just going to speak a little bit about viewers, about how this government is now going to interact with the center, given the fact that the LG will be calling the shots. And that will be the fundamental issue which will have to be resolved now. Mr. Omar Abdullah, who was speaking earlier to our channel, to Zaka Jacob, was mentioning that both the HM and the PM are gentlemen in his point of view, and he hopes that they will advance the cause of cooperative federalism by working constructively with the state government, with him or whoever else is appointed chief minister of the state. Mr. Ram Madhav, let me bring you back in. Last few questions. Mr. Abdullah has said that the arrangement now leaves really the party in power is going to form the government in some sort of a predicament, because the LG really exercises an overbearing influence, as we all know, on the state now, or on the union territory. So he's hoping that, given the fact that the Prime Minister and the HM are gentlemen, he's hoping that they will also live up to the dharma of a cooperative federalism. How do you see this?
Rahul, everybody has to be a gentleman here. And of course, Prime Minister and Home Minister are gentlemen, very sure, but those who want to rule the state also have to be gentlemen, then things will work out. There is no appetite for any quarrel, I said in the beginning itself. There won't be any problem. as long as, he doesn't also again act like Mr. Kejriwal and then say that I am also a gentleman. I mean, gentlemanship should be on both sides. There is huge, support that will be given to Jammu and Kashmir. We attach a lot of importance to that state. I always remember what Mufti Sahib used to say. Mufti Sahib used to tell us that we know that you people don't like us, but you love Kashmir, which is a fact. Kashmir is very dear to all of us, Jammu Kashmir. So nothing, I'm sure nothing will be done to cause any harm to that state. So it's as much a responsibility of Mr. Omar Abdullah to maintain cordial, good relations with the center, as he is talking as if it is only the responsibility of the Prime Minister and Home Minister. Of course, they will always extend support to him in taking the state
Well,
forward.
he's made a couple of important promises to the electorate. Apart from Article 317, bringing that back, whether that's possible or not, that will park aside. But he said that he wants the release of certain political detainees and other elements that he believes were illegally incarcerated, number one. And he, of course, wants the restoration of full statehood for Jammu and Kashmir, which is, of course, a promise that has been made by the center. These are two basic expectations from his side. Are you saying that bringing these two issues up will mean that there will be a Kejriwal-like face-off with the LG's office, and we'll see a situation that has persisted in Delhi for the last 5 or 6 or 8 years?
Now, as far as detainees are concerned, it involves not just the land order, but also the legal process. There will be certain procedures to be followed. This is a very curious case. When Engineer Rashid was released, the very same people, including Mr. Omar Abdullah, ridiculing, making fun of him that he was released for political benefits and all. Now they want all others to be released. See, there is a lot of politics in it. But Mr. Omar Abdullah changes goalposts very quickly. I don't know if he still continues to hold on to it, because till yesterday he was saying 370 was very important. Yesterday evening he said no, 370 is no longer important. Then statehood. As far as statehood is concerned, yes, Government of India, Prime Minister himself said from public platforms that statehood will be provided to UT at an appropriate time. Many people call it restoration. It's not restoration. There was no pre-2019 J&K anymore. Ladakh got separate UT status. The residual J&K is a new UT that was carved out in 2019. It was carved out as a UT. Now it has the right to become secure statehood. That will be granted at an appropriate time. How to do it, what kind of structure to be provided to it will be decided by Parliament and the government together.
But what is an appropriate time? When do you think the situation in Jammu and Kashmir will obviate the, well, you don't like to use the word restoration, but the union territory being turned into a full state?
Oh, so once the government is formed, Mr. Omar Abdullah said that that will be the first resolution that they will pass in the cabinet, seeking, they are calling restoration. I am saying extension of statehood status to the state. Let them then approach the government of India. I am sure he will discuss it with Honorable Prime Minister, and then they will decide about the probable timeline.
Well, thank you, Mr. Ram Madhav. Thank you very much for speaking to me. It's been wonderful as well, and congratulations. Thank you very much. Best of luck with your next assignment.
My pleasure.